Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones that we got. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. Good memories are like charms. Each is special. You collect them one by one until one day you look back and discover they make a long, colorful bracelet. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it returns into a memory. Some days I wish I could go back to life. Not to change anything, but to feel a few things twice. With that, welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Mic. I am Simar Kaur. And I am Monisha Singh. Please welcome back our dear astrophile friend, a true lover of all things celestial, Yashraj Sharma. So glad to be here. All this talk about past memories really reminds me of last year's My Good School retreat. Oh, yes, we enjoyed it so much. It was such a great experience. I remember us having so much fun. I remember going to treks and having the whole hostel experience at Dehradun. It's been almost a year now, and I still can't get over the fun we had over there. I mean, from the moment we sat in the car and started our journey, at first I was very nervous because I hadn't really talked to anyone who I was traveling with, but then eventually we all became really good friends. And I feel my whole experience was a roller coaster, feeling nervous at first, but then eventually realizing what a blast the whole thing was. So the retreat really taught me to be a little more open to new things. What about you guys? How was your experience? Well, I remember the very last day when we were asked to share our experiences, and I vividly remember mentioning the fact that we had to wake up at 6 each morning. And however difficult that was for me, I did it with a smile on my face because there was so much to look forward to. And I remember mentioning that each day felt like a month because of so much stuff we did in a single day. And I never really realized that so much could be done in a day. The highlight of my trip was our visit to the Khan farms. We went for a small walk through the woods, and it was simply amazing. The splendid morning weather, it felt so serene and so calm. The entire experience, it was simply marvelous. Nature was the limelight moth throughout, and that is what made the retreat really memorable for me, especially since I really love being alongside nature right now. What about you, Yash? Well, the retreat for me was flawless. Since the moment we entered the school to the moment we left, the one thing that did not change at all was the welcoming and joyful nature of the boys in the huge dorm all of them lived in. The air seemed to be filled with a unique sense of innocence and cuteness. All of those cutes were so accommodating to my friend and I that we could not feel at all that we were new there or we didn't know those boys. We lived like brothers. Every morning we woke each other up with some excitement, and apparently we used to wake up very late. When my friend and I used to come into consciousness from our slumber, the whole dorm of boys used to be up and ready. The whole environment of the school was so friendly and welcoming and warm. My friends and I weren't even ready to come back. Absolutely, Ashraj. I completely align with you on how much fun we had last year in Dehradun. Dear listeners, for today's podcast, we have a very special person joining us. She is the director of Doon Girls School, one of our My Good School mentors, and our very favorite teacher, Miss Monisha Datta. Welcome to our sweet little show, ma'am. It is so great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Oshin, Simar, and Yashraj. And I don't know how thrilled you are to see me, but I am super thrilled to see the three of you. And it's almost like yesterday we were all together having a good time. And today I see you on the screen. So, yeah, I'm delighted to be with all of you.
Welcome, ma'am. So last year, all of us attended the My Good School retreat hosted by the Doon Girls School, and we stayed at their hostel, made a lot of new friends, and it was such an immersive experience that focused on self discovery. Everyone participated in many exciting workshops and games, and we took so much with us back home. Yes, indeed, Simmer. I think we all came out of it with some valuable lessons and perspectives. Ma'am, what was the most impactful moment for you during the retreat?
So, I had a lot of enlightening moments, to be honest with you, because when I saw all of you walk through the gate, um, there were different age groups. But the common thing between all the age groups that I saw entering into the campus was a look of nervousness and a lot of speculations. It was almost like, oh my God, how are we going to survive the next few days in this place? Seeing that moment to the transformation that happened in that short time, I think that left me with a very, very warm feeling. Till date, when I think of you, and I still have that jar, the circle time jar with me lying in my office behind me. Until date, there are days and moments when I go back to reading what experiences you have left behind shared in those chits. So the most impactful moment was hearing uh, the way you felt about the entire thing, each of you, seeing how your friend Raghav, from a very shy and a completely unavailable kind of a kid, transformed into somebody who was feeling, I really don't want to go back. You know, those emotions were very, very visible when everyone was stepping out. So, when you came in, there was speculation, but when you people went out, you left with huge amount of memories for yourself, as well as a lot of memories for the students out here. The transformation that the impact that the outdoors had on you, the way you enjoyed the walks. Maybe city life does not allow you to see so much of nature, and in Dehradun there's abundance of it. So that engagement with something completely new and something not very comfortable, because we were not living in a AC and a resort kind of an environment. We were living in a place which was very loving and very livable. So the way all of you absorbed that thing, the way you people especially gelled with the students of pestology, pestology, right? That the way you learned dance from each other, those moments that you were exchanging, unaware or completely oblivious that people were observing you, those moments left a lot of impact on me. And I think it reinforced the fact or the faith in me that everything is changeable. It's the right environment that makes a difference. So, students, especially your age group, like people say, teenagers are very difficult to manage, teenagers are very demanding. I completely disagree with that. That's the impact your group had on me. That no, having all of you different age groups all together, helping each other, even when you were doing activities, the excitement that was there. It was always about winning. It was also about listening to what. So from that one moment of just stating or sharing and saying, it became listening. It turned into an event where you were ready to hear out each other and say, okay, fine. From that moment where somebody was not even contributing to it, to say, okay, fine, I've heard enough, now listen. You know, those transformations were impactful. So I think I learned a lot during those 3 days, 4 days. And yes, you people did leave us with a lot of memories as well.
That is very true, ma'am, and that is a very great insight. Because even I remember, like, I used to think when I go to the hostel and I live with so many people, there would be so many people, what did they do to me? But the moment we stepped in the hostel, everyone was so sweet to us. Everyone came to us, and then I remember all of us sitting at night and talking, and then hoping we wouldn't get caught. But
Yeah.
I think the retreat it really opened me because I used to find it very hard to talk to new people at first, and the ice breaking session it used to be very hard for me. But after the retreat, I realized that it wasn't just that hard. It just I was making it hard. All I had to do was just go up to the person and introduce myself. So that's what really required. But for me, I feel it was a little more than that, a little more than just being adventurous. As I mentioned, and I really very vividly remember looking forward to joining everyone, especially you, ma'am, for the circle time. I feel that sitting quietly in the dark and sharing our reflections really had a huge impact on me. It taught me to be a little more grateful instead of just saying it at times. So, actually, after being that inspired, I even started my own gratitude jar this year.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
I think that's what really left a mark on me. What about you, Simon? My memory is a bit hazy, but I vividly remember a game we played. Each of us wrote our names on balloons and they were randomly spread in the room. And we all searched and searched for our own balloons and felt quite triumphant when we found it ahead of the crowd. And it was a very time taking activity, but the lesson we took away from it was that if we had simply picked up a balloon and called out a person's name, like the person's name that was written on the balloon, the entire activity could have been completed in a course of a few minutes. And I think that really taught me that is what teamwork means, that is what collaboration means. When everyone works together and a task that seems very tedious at first can be done in a very short duration of time if everyone decides to help each other and everyone decides to put in a helping hand together. And I think that's what really stuck with me. What
I
about you,
completely
Yash?
resonate with you, Sima. Well, for me, the favorite part of the retreat was a little hike we went on. Since, like forever, I'm a huge fan of the great outdoors, and physical activities like sports are my humble abode. That hike was the highlight of the treat for me. I learned so much about the Kalinga War for there, and our tour guide for the hike was a retired colonel in the Indian Army. I was able to walk with my friends in a beautiful environment of tall trees and small three leaf clovers. The way the fallen leaves scrubbed through my feet was so relaxing, and the steep hike did not feel tiring at all. Because throughout the journey, we were talking and laughing and getting to know more and more about the place and how during the British era our soldiers had fought here. All in all, if I could experience the same amount of bliss like I did at that time again, amongst the trees and the bushes, it would just be a dream come true.
Definitely, Yashraj. I think throughout the retreat we were quite close to nature, and when we visited the Count Farms, it was quite windy in the evening. And I remember the first day that we went there, all of us were sitting in the dark balcony with only one light on, and we talked. We talked like throughout, and we simply talked. We shared our thoughts. We made inside jokes, and I felt so peaceful at that moment. Like I suddenly have another chosen family. Uh, so yeah, Oshri, do you remember that night? Yes, definitely. The Khan farm, it was very far away and it was cut off from everywhere because it was so close to nature. And the morning walk and going to the nearby village and interacting with the people is still so clear to me. It was so windy and a little cold, but the beauty and the complete bliss of nature just made me want to stay there forever. Even at night, watching the stars was simply peaceful and relaxing for me. I remember all of us sitting on the rooftop and at night and chatting before dinner time. That was when all of us had finally opened up, I guess. It is a forever stored memory for me now, and I can still recall very clearly all of us sitting on the swing on the sofa, simply talking about each other's lives. I even remember doing a small therapy session for when someone got homesick. So the Khan farm really brought all of us closer that day. Ma'am, did we hit the note right about the connection of nature that the retreat wanted to instill in us?
Absolutely. And I think it allowed you to bond better. Any which way they say, na, nature heals. And nature is very rejuvenating. It gives you a different kind of a calm and a peace. And if we look at ourselves, we are nothing but the elements of nature. So that is why when we are out there in nature, the sense of belonging is very high. When you people came into the campus, when you came in for the retreat, there was a kind of a wall between the girls and the boys also, even though you came in together. But the comfort zone that you developed after being there was very different. So it was almost like you kind of formed an invisible connect. You found a connect that was there, but you never explored it, and you just blended into each other's existence very easily. So yes, nature did help you to. It was more like nature helped you to give up your inhibitions. You all existed like those trees around over there. It didn't matter. The gender of the tree did not matter. So you were just there and you were enjoying each other's company. Um, you were ready to listen to each other's stories and contribute with your own experiences, which I'm sure if you were anywhere in the cityscape, you would not have done that. Because, and again, nature did not, like where we were, there were no access to any gadgets. So the only communication that you could have was a communication with each other. Right. And that broke all the walls and that broke the boundaries that you had very safely built around yourself. So yes, nature did connect.
Even nowadays, when we go to a party and we don't know really a lot of people, what we simply do is we just,
Get onto our phones.
get away.
Yeah.
But like over there, I didn't know. I personally never talked to any of the people that I was traveling with, and then I realized that I don't have anything now. The only thing I have for the next 5 days are these people. I have to talk to them.
Yeah. And I think, sorry.
Please go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying, and I think the advantage that you people had, you were completely unknown to each other. So you did not come with any baggage. So you were able to connect also without any kind of biases. Right? So it was easy for you to connect because there was no unresolved issues back then. And wherever you started from started on a very on a high note in a beautiful space. So the memories that you went back with were all very pleasant and happy.
Thank you, Mom. And the retreat was truly one of the best experiences I've ever had, and I think that stands true for all of us. And I really enjoyed staying at the hostel and making friends and everlasting memories. So thank you so much for joining us today and just reminiscing over the really great time we had at Dehradun that time. I think again, as I've said before, the retreat was like absolutely flawless for me, and like Ma'am has said, it really helped us make new connections because honestly before the retreat the only people I knew were a little bit of Oshi and a lot of Raghav. So I definitely made new friends with Anvesha and Simar, and really where we started off our friendship was truly amazing. Like Ma'am said, we made very pleasant memories, and whenever we meet, we always have something to talk about. A common topic, a beautiful topic, the retreat last year. So before we end today's podcast, ma'am, we would really like to appreciate you and all the teachers, Sandeep sir, Nibriti ma'am, and everyone who helped in organizing the retreat. It was truly an awesome experience, meeting the people we had been working with and interacting with them while enjoying nature at its fullest. I feel that's a childhood memory none of us can afford to forget now. So thank you for all you did. And is there anything you would like to advise to us or say anything for me?
I wouldn't have anything to advise, but I would surely like to request all of you to keep doing these kind of adventures, keep repeating and creating more memories like this. Walk into the unknown, talk to the people you don't know, make memories, create more memories so that when you sit back and write your book of life, you have a lot of charming memories to think of. You have a lot of wonderful experience to share and a huge amount of learning. Because when you are doing the unknown, there's always a constant learning that's there, right? And the smiles that you have on your face, keep that going. Always have that there. Thank you for calling me over. Thank you.
Well, with this, we come to an end of today's podcast. We sincerely hope you enjoyed it, and we would like to thank everyone who has helped us achieve the success of today's episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, same date, same time next month.